Back when I was about 9 or 10, me and my family took a road trip. I don't remember where we were going. I actually don't remember most of it, but I do remember one specific detail. I remember when we were sleeping in the car at a rest stop. I woke up about 2 in the morning. My parents were both asleep in the front seat and I was in the back. The highway was completely empty in both directions. I remember looking out the window and seeing the orange glow of a rest stop sign, the underside of an overpass, the parking lot of a closed gas station, and I felt this feeling that I couldn't describe. I wasn't scared, I wasn't sad, I was somewhere in between. Like I was seeing something that I was not supposed to be seeing. Like I found the place where everything goes when nobody is looking. And I haven't felt that feeling for a while. Then the liminal space photos gained popularity. Empty corridors, vacant hotel lobbies, swimming pools with nobody in them, old malls that are closed or almost completely abandoned. Then I felt that feeling again. Most of the most famous liminal space photos do have a real origin, but what I want to figure out is why do all of these places feel like somewhere where I've been to, or you've been to, or we've all been to? Why does a photo of a pool, or a wallpaper on a computer from 2003, or a hotel corridor in London, why does any of it feel like a memory? The word liminal comes from the Latin term limen. It means threshold. An anthropologist first used it in 1909 to describe the middle phase of a rite of passage, the moment between leaving an identity and then arriving at the next one. You're no longer what you were, and you're not yet what you'll become. You're in the in-between state. The concept was soon picked up by psychologists, architects, and philosophers, but the internet found a way to make it more visual. There is a physical version of this feeling, and I know every single person watching this has felt it. Maybe a school hallway during summer break, or a shopping mall right before it's about to close and there's nobody left, or a hotel corridor at 3 a.m. These places are built for transition. They are designed to be passed through, not to be stayed in for a long period of time. And when you encounter them when they're completely empty, with no people inside of them, no noise, you get this very uncanny feeling. Look at this one, for example. You know exactly what this place is. I'm 99% sure everybody watching has been in a hallway like this before. You know what it smells like. You know what the carpet feels like. You know what it sounds like. You get this weird feeling seeing it like this, completely empty, the lights are a little too bright, and the doors are all closed. And it just kind of feels wrong to look at this even. There's a study that tried to explain exactly why spaces can feel this way. Researchers took regular photos and manipulated them to make them more unsettling. And they found 5 things that consistently worked. If you remove anything meaningful from the frame, introduce repetition, like the same pattern over and over, make placements of objects slightly off, add a sort of controlled distortion, something weird about the geometry, and then remove all of the people, you get something that looks exactly like what we'd call a liminal space. Thinking about this, it doesn't really feel like an accident. It's actually your brain reacting to a specific set of signals that say something is missing here. Something that should be here is not here, and your brain does not like that. Have you ever had a dream set in a place that does not exist? Just like a random building that you've never been to, or a random stairwell that you don't recognize but you somehow know? And then when you wake up, you don't remember at all, but still kind of feel that feeling? Like the feeling that this image gives you. In neuroscience, this feeling is called hypnagogia, the threshold of sleep, where your brain becomes highly associative. The walls between different memories tend to blur. Places from different years, different contexts, they all start bleeding into each other. Researchers have called it a type of creative sweet spot. And it's also the reason why architecture and dreams feel extremely specific and impossible at the exact same time. Because your brain is not just inventing these places, it's taking hundreds of places that you've been to and stitching them together. Because your brain does not forget anything. Even though it's been pushed way in the back of your mind, it's still in there somewhere. So everything in your dream you have seen before. And these places that you're visiting in your dreams have all been places that you have been to, but just combined in a weird way. Liminal space photos feel like dreams because they look like the raw material your sleeping brain uses to build them. There's a concept in neuroscience called predictive coding. The idea that your brain is never processing the world fresh. It is always comparing what it's seeing against stored memories. It's running a prediction in your head and it's generating the best guess about what the place is, what it means, or whether you're safe here. Look at this image. Your brain recognizes that this is a hotel and it's multi-story. It knows what kind of category of place this is, and it does have a prediction ready. And then the prediction hits something it was not expecting. It was not expecting nobody to be there, no movement, no noise, no other people, just floors and floors. And then the prediction kind of stalls. It doesn't have a match for this place. There's no context. It doesn't have an answer for you. All it gives you is that weird feeling that you feel when you see these images. The sense of being somewhere you have been and somewhere you have never been at the exact same time. So where do these photos actually originate from? I've been digging through forums, Flickr albums, architectural press sites, Twitter threads, and what I found is that almost every famous liminal space photo started the exact same way. Someone took a completely regular photo for a completely regular reason, and the rest of us looked at it and felt something that was never intended. This one right here is one of the most famous liminal space photos. I want you to look at it just for a second before I say anything else. It's an indoor pool with nobody in it. There's no towels, no objects, just a completely empty pool. It looks like a screenshot from a video game, and people call it the Poolrooms. The images that most people have seen aren't actually real photographs. They're 3D renders made by an artist named Jared Pike, who started posting what he called the dream pools in around 2022. They went extremely viral, and a horror game was created called Pools, an entire backrooms level built around this aesthetic. However, this is not the origin of the pool rooms. In an interview, he stated that he was scrolling a liminal spaces thread on Reddit and came across a photo of a real pool. It was so unsettling that he spent months trying to create it in 3D. That pool is called Roccolo Swimming Pool. It was designed in 2015 by an Italian architecture firm called, I'm probably not going to pronounce this right, Act Romagili, built into the grounds of a private home in northern Italy, literally sunk into the garden so it wouldn't interrupt the view of the lawn. This is what it looks like from the outside. It's a very low building and it's set into the grass. Professional architectural photos were published on DZine and ArcDaily. It is, by any normal measure, just someone's really nice pool. But when this photo made it onto a liminal spaces subreddit, something about the tiles, the light, the silence, the way the glass walls make it feel both open and very enclosed at the same time, it made people feel that feeling. Jared Pike, he could not stop thinking about it. So what did he do? He built an entire world around it. The pool rooms. The backrooms level with its own games, fan art, and millions of views traces back to this. A private swimming pool in northern Italy. Nobody was trying to make something eerie here. Someone just took an architectural photograph and we looked at it and we felt that feeling. This one I'm 99% sure everybody has seen before. It is the default Windows XP wallpaper. Rolling green hills, blue skies, and a few clouds off in the distance. If you grew up in the early 2000s, this image is hardwired into your brain. Estimates put the total viewership at over 1 billion people. It might genuinely be the most viewed photograph in human history. A photographer named Charles O'Rear, former National Geographic, was driving down State Route 121 through Sonoma County. He was on his way to visit his girlfriend. He pulled over because the hill next to him looked extremely interesting, so he set up a tripod and he shot it on Fujifilm Velvia, a film stock known for making colors pop slightly more than real life, which explains a lot. Then he got back in his car and he kept driving. That's it. The hill was extremely bare because of an infestation that had wiped out the vineyard that used to grow there. A few years later, Microsoft bought the rights to this photo, and O'Rear got paid in the low 6 figures. The exact number was confidential. The hill was replanted not long after. This is what it looks like now. If you drive there today, you would have no idea that this was the Windows XP wallpaper. It just looks like a normal vineyard. The most viewed photograph in human history was taken on a whim on a roadside by a man on his way to see his girlfriend of a hill that no longer exists, at least in the way that we knew it. Here's why Bliss fits here, even though it's not a dark or eerie type of image. The New Yorker once wrote that liminal space images owe their power to their ability to obliterate context and invite the viewer to populate the image with their own memories of comparable scenes. When you look at this, your brain does not see a specific hill in Sonoma County. It sees every hill that you've ever seen before. Every field that you've ever seen before. Every green space from a memory you can't place. The image is generic enough, deliberately or not, that your brain fills it in with its own life. You're not recognizing the photo, but you're recognizing that you could be in that photo. Here's the last one, and this one does not necessarily need nostalgia to work. It's just extremely unsettling on its own terms. What you're looking at here is a hotel atrium. Multiple floors of identical windows stacked on top of each other, all wrapped around a central void with a type of backrooms looking ceiling. Count the floors if you want, but it doesn't really help, and there's nobody there. It went viral in March of 2019 when a German animator named Dominik Johann posted it on Twitter. The caption was, "I'm on my way to America and I spent the night inside the most nightmarish and oppressive bit of architecture I've seen in a long while." The tweet blew up and Reddit picked it up. Backrooms communities picked it up too. It ended up in the fan wiki as level 188. Johann was on a layover and he needed somewhere to sleep for the night. The hotel is the Crown Plaza and Holiday Inn Express London Heathrow Terminal 4. It opened in about 2018. There's 761 rooms here, and it is built directly into the terminal. You could literally book a room there tonight if you wanted to, and it would only cost you about £120. And the part that sticks out to me is that Dominik Johann called it nightmarish, but the architects didn't think they were building something nightmarish. They thought they were building something modern, efficient, and a smart use of vertical space. The liminal feeling is not a flaw they accidentally built in, it's something that we projected onto it. We walked in with a lifetime of stored memories, every single hotel that we've ever been to, and our brain ran its prediction and got something back it did not expect. So here are the 3 things that I think make a good liminal space. The first is transition. These are places built to be passed through. When you find them empty, you feel the absence of that movement. It feels like this space is just sitting here waiting to be occupied. Second is nostalgia. Not nostalgia specifically for a certain place, but like the feeling. You don't necessarily remember the carpet pattern of every hotel you've ever stayed in, but you do remember the way you felt walking down that corridor. Maybe your swimsuit was still damp and you had your room key in your hand and you were ready to settle down for the night. Liminal spaces don't have to be specific to anyone. They just reach into that part of your brain where those half-remembered type of feelings live. The third is uncanny. The sense that something familiar has slipped out of alignment. That the world you know is still here, but it's just missing people. And without people, a place just does not really make sense. Because a place is only a place when somebody is in it. When nobody is in it, it becomes something else. These 3 things together are what turns a furniture store renovation photo into the backrooms. What turns an Italian family swimming pool into an entire subgenre of horror. What turns a man complaining about his layover hotel on Twitter into level 188. None of these photographers knew what were going to come out of taking these photos. They just took the pictures because it felt right in the moment. Then we look at these pictures and then we feel this feeling of nostalgia, of uncanny, because the feelings were never in the photos. I think about that night in the backseat from time to time. That empty highway, parking lot of the closed gas station. I didn't have a word for what I felt back then, but I think I understand it now. What I was feeling was the world between states. 2 in the morning version of everywhere. The way things look when they're not performing for anyone. School hallways, shopping malls, hotels, they're not built to be empty or silent. These places merely exist just to move through. You see them the way they were never supposed to be seen. They give you yourself, standing in a place out of time, alone with the hum of the fluorescent lights, and with that feeling of being somewhere that shouldn't exist the way it exists right now. And yet,